Time frame, images of a generation. We grew up in a simpler time. We sang.
Say, kids, what time is it?
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. We laughed.
Hello, boy.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
We cried.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
We fought. We loved. We were attacked.
Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air.
Our flag was still there. Now these memories come to life on posters that can be yours today. Go to howdyboomy.com for your copies today. That's howdyboomy.com. howdyboomy.com.
Welcome to the Howdy Boomy Show. Got up this morning and I read the headlines. I thought it was April Fool's Day, but it's a day early. And April Fool's Day is probably still one of the holidays, if you could call it a holiday, that we still enjoy, that the woke crowd hasn't destroyed yet. We no longer have Columbus Day. It's called Indigenous People Day. It wasn't Washington's birthday. It wasn't Lincoln's birthday. They put it into President's Day, I guess, to make it easier so we could have one more day off. It's just the people who named the Cleveland Indians now must go to the Cleveland Guardians. The Washington Redskins are now the Washington Commanders. And I'm just wondering if people thought that when these teams were originally formed, that the people that named them had malice in their hearts against the Indians or anybody else. I don't think that was the case. In order for you to make someone a mockery, you have to have malice in your heart. You have to do something that you really didn't like. And I don't think that was the case at all in naming these teams. And all of a sudden, 7 people out of 24 million take offense to it, and we've got to change it all of a sudden. I guess the rule of majority people in America no longer applies. If you have the press behind you, if you think you are morally superior, if you go in front of a camera, yourself and 4 other people downtown, and make yourself look as though you're egregiously hurt by somebody being called an Indian or somebody being called a Redskin. To me, it's gone absolutely nuts, and I don't know what April Fool's Day is going to bring, but it should be interesting. I don't know who the biggest fool is now. I don't know if it's the New York Jets. Maybe they'd be better off going back after Joe Namath than Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if it's the state of California. I know Kevin O'Leary, who's big on the CNBC show, on Shark Tank, a big investor, a big businessman, a very successful man, was on TV yesterday saying that California is uninvestable. You cannot open a business in California anymore. You can't open one in New York State. You can't open one in New Jersey. You can't open one in the East because of the tax basis. They go down to Florida. They go to Texas, where businesses can flourish because Uncle Sam or the state is not trying to steal all your money. Now they have a luxury tax in California on luxury homes that's going to be 28%. Imagine that. With the inflation rate and everything else going on in California, they're going to drive everybody else out there. And I just have no idea what the background of Gavin Newsom is or whatever, but evidently he's grappling at straws because his administration has no clue what's going on. And as businesses leave, he wants to destroy the oil industry, so maybe he should become Biden's right-hand man. But it's just sort of crazy what's happening in the country, where the lunatic fringe seem to be taken over. Because as always has happened, average Americans just sit at home, they work hard, they try to bring up their family, and changes will be made, they'll be made at the ballot box. All the noise happens in between, but hopefully on the next election, their changes are going to be heard. He was indicted. Donald Trump was indicted by Alvin Bragg, the district attorney in New York City. And I was sort of surprised. Then I started reading up about it, and the previous district attorney, Rosenthal, in New York City, had a hard-on for Donald Trump. And these charges, same charges were brought years ago. They were debunked, but he convinced Bragg, with the backing of George Soros and money, to bring him again. So now the gloves are off, and you're going to see, I think, a real reaction to politically motivated prosecution, to the use of the justice system by the executive branch, by government. And if you don't think Joe Biden has anything to do with this, well, then you're waiting for the tooth fairy also. Joe Biden is a very vindictive individual, very revengeful individual, as noted yesterday when he took a pastor aside, a Greek pastor, and threatened him that if he said anything about the meetings Joe and Hunter Biden had with Burisma in the Ukraine about the oil company and the graft, everything that was going on there, he would destroy him. So that tells you what kind of guy Joe Biden is. He plagiarized when he was a congressman. He plagiarized when he was a senator. He's got hair plugs. I mean, getting hair plugs is not the worst thing in the world, but it tells you he's false. That's all there is to it. He's all image, no substance. What the Republican Party needs now is a Lee Atwater. Now, Lee Atwater was the head of the Republican National Committee during the Reagan administration. And Lee Atwater was the closest thing to a Democrat as far as politics goes, in the sense that he had no moral background, no moral center, no qualms about lying and destroying people. That's what the Democrats try to do. If they cannot make sense, if they cannot beat you on the issues, they will try to destroy you. They will make up stuff about you. Hillary Clinton, Russian collusion. Adam Schiff, Russian collusion. All this stuff that's gone on, that's been made up, that's been proved debunked. The FBI, James Comey, Brennan, everything up against Trump they made up. The latest charge is going to be revealing something. You're going to see what Bragg's going to run into. But now the gloves are off. What we need is a Lee Atwater. We need some Republican congressman, someone in power that really doesn't give a rat's ass, that will go after Democrats with a vengeance. Go after the Democrats that are hindering the prosecution of Hunter Biden. Go to their home districts. Make up crap about them. Who cares? But make them defend themselves. Make them know that they are hindering prosecution of a criminal, hindering prosecution of a corrupt family. Go after the Biden Trust Fund. Go after Biden's brother. Go after any politician who does not recognize that this persecution of Donald Trump is totally politically motivated, total use of the Justice Department for political purposes. It's a turning point in the country. We need a Lee Atwater to destroy these people. Make up lies about them. Democrats do it every day. Ask Hillary Clinton. That's how she became known. A woman who is, I have from information, one of the most hated people in Washington, D.C., amongst those who have to, how can I say this, protect the political class in Washington. We have to get another Lee Atwater to go after the Democrats and destroy him. Show who is hindering the prosecution of Hunter Biden. Show the corruptness of the Biden family. Show the corruptness of all the money coming in from China, from the Ukraine, how much graft they have had. Show what evil they're doing around the country. And as far as not prosecuting criminals, in New York City, there's criminals walking the street, yet they're going after Donald Trump. It shows you everything is political. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but the gloves are now off. Now we have to start going after these people. But we need someone with balls to do it, and I don't see anybody out there that's in the political class that wants to do it. Somebody's got to get really mad. Somebody's got to care more about the country than being reelected. I think if they start bringing the truth out about the Democrats who are protecting Joe Biden, about the newspaper people, go after them who are protecting Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. They have to go after him. The gloves are off. Let's go get him. Let's bring this country back to greatness, because right now we're wallowing. We've got a president of the United States that His approval ratings are terrible. He's clueless. I mean, every time he speaks, I mean, I make no sense. He's older than I am, and he's running the country, and he makes no sense. Anyhow, have a great April Fool's Day. It's one of the last holidays they haven't messed with yet. Of course, who knows what's going to happen when I pick up the newspapers tomorrow. But have a great day. Go to howdyboomy.com, join the Peanut Gallery, take a look at the memories, enjoy the baby boomer years, relate to your children, the grandchildren, relate to everybody what those years were like when God Bless America meant God Bless America. We were the greatest country in the world, still are. We are not going to lose our way because of what's happening in Washington, D.C., or what's happening in the press. We have to go after these people. Find a Lee Atwater. Start going after them. God bless you. God bless America.